how you're going to live your life. And when you're younger, it'd be negativity and within the classroom, but as these individuals get older, that negativity can transfer into society, and then that's when we have our youth becoming juveniles in a juvenile system.
Well, it's much easier to hit it when people are younger, but by the time we have juveniles who are getting in trouble with the law, is it too late? Is there any chance for redemption?
No, that's where communities come into play. The cities, schools, organizations like the Boy Scouts, the Optimist Club for sports. You need to make sure that the youngster is active in somewhat of a community service based program, be in sports, scouts, and get them out of the usual everyday, out in the streets scenario. We have to, create, our communities need to create different type of programs that would bring somewhat stability to this youngster that may not have that stability at the house, at the home. So we need to work together as a community and create these programs to get them out and change that mentality or that negativity per se.
Right. Well, this is a good breaking point. We're going to take a brief break and come back with more strategies for community redevelopment.
University, your choice for all the right reasons. Almost half of all parents who suspect their child has a problem learning wait a year or more before getting them help. Why? When there's so much they could be achieving. Kids with learning disabilities are smart. They just learn differently. Call or visit us on the web now.
You can leave your unharmed baby, approximately 3 days old or less, at any hospital emergency room, fire rescue station, or emergency medical service station in the state of Florida. No questions asked, totally anonymous. We want to help you. There is now a safe haven for your newborn.
When Candace Kenmere surveyed the debris left by Hurricane Wilma, the Barry University photography major saw something else. As a Barry student, you belong to a caring community where a Catholic liberal arts tradition supports your growth and faculty nurture your unique perspective. So if the lens through which you view the world is open to possibility, Barry University is where you belong.
As we've been discussing, there are some hopeful signs in our communities, even the most damaged of communities. As reporter Carolina Isaias found, help is often coming not from inside, but from within.
Welcome to historic Overtown. Overtown is one of Miami's oldest and poorest neighborhoods with one of the highest crime rates. Approximately 11,000 people live here, most of them African American or black. Over half of people live in poverty. Most households are headed by unmarried women with an average income of $13,000. Since 2000, the Overtown Renaissance, a movement to restore the neighborhood, has begun. One project that has already started is Roots in the City.
My name is Marvin Dunn. I am the director of the Roots in the City project based in Overtown. This garden began as a place where we could grow produce for the community and give it away free to help the health of the community in terms of access to fresh food. In order to do that, we had volunteers come out, mainly from colleges. One thing, it means jobs. Right now we have 8 people who work here, 30 hours per week, all of them Overtown residents. It means taking what was a very ugly vacant lot used for drug activity and turning it into something more beautiful. I think people tend to get very nostalgic about gardens. It takes me back to Jamaica, back to Georgia, back to Cuba, back to where they came from. Because they see stuff growing out, when people are used to that. So that's kind of historical nostalgic value for some people too.
Roots in the City is only one of the many efforts to redevelop this long-established city. Alonso Mourning, a famous basketball player, helped establish Overtown Youth Center. The center is a safe place for children, which offers academic, enhancing programs, as well as physical fitness. This is Carolina Isaías reporting for Community Crossroads.
We've seen some of the activities that are going on in a Miami community. Peter, what can you tell us about some other things that are happening around town?
Well, if you create different programs, for the kids to participate, it gives them an opportunity to be in different organizations to help them. Like the Scouts, sports, it brings them together. It gives them a sense of a direction. It gives them a sense of responsibility. And then you can create, the values that sometimes, unfortunately, are missing within the home or within their community. So.
Right. Well, Alonso Mourning's a very famous basketball player, and he's done a lot in his particular communities. But do we need someone like that, a big name, a big figure, in order to generate interest amongst communities?
It helps, but it's not needed. If you go ahead and you put within the families an uncle, a grandfather, a dad or mom, and you start putting them in together and then helping not only their family members, start helping the neighbor. Little by little, you're going to have a full block of parents working together and educating, giving values. And that's what I think has happened throughout the years. Poverty brings, that their values get lost. They see the dollar sign as a more important issue than helping somebody else within the community.
Yeah.
So it becomes a challenge.
Yeah, there's this, one of my favorite sayings is that think globally, act locally, and it's really true. There's people who want to change the world. You need to start on your own street and block by block, make a difference in your community. Chanel, you were telling us about the tutoring program you're involved with before. Let me ask you, do many students do this, and do you see, when you tell your peers that you've done this, is there sort of a resistance to want to volunteer their time as opposed to work and get paid?
When I was in that position, surprisingly, a lot of people didn't even know that the opportunity exists. And when I told them, I definitely got a lot of positive feedback on the situation, and now I have a couple of my friends who are actually in the same position I was in last year. So, no, it was exciting, and now they're at the school doing it.
Excellent, excellent. So, what are you doing now that you're involved in the community?
Currently, I'm a legal intake intern at the state headquarters in Miami for the ACLU.
The American Civil Liberties Union.
Yes.
And what kinds of, are there any cases that are involving community development there?
Yes. In my position, what I do is I evaluate complaints that are sent in from constituents. The ACLU receives thousands of complaints a year, each year, regarding civil liberty violations. We deal with issues such as student rights, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, employment discrimination, disability, and things of that nature. I evaluate the complaints to see if it's an issue that we in fact deal with, and if I find it to be such, I refer it to attorneys in the office who take it from that point. Yes, currently we just filed a Supreme Court case last week on behalf of the Palm Beach County School District. A lot of students in the West Palm Beach County School District are not graduating, and under the Florida Constitution that violates their rights because the schools are obviously not providing a high quality of education for those students.
Well, graduation rates are appalling throughout Florida
Yes.
and throughout the country, areas like Detroit and Chicago. So I do hope that that case goes forward to help with the situation. Through schools, Peter, you're also involved in your local school organization. Yes. Some schools require community service of students?
Yes, if you're in high school, you start in high school, you have to do a minimum of 80 hours of community service to actually graduate.